Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast. It looked bleak for a while, but we made it. We are at the season 4 finale.
This
It
really
only took us years.
This really gives me flashbacks to Sheena's engagement party, especially it ending at Sir. I'm like, and with a performance.
It was so good. With the performance, you feel this.
Here?
Jax has to ruin everything. It was honestly, I laughed out loud at some parts of this episode. I think like it's such a burden. We always talk about like this show never ends. We're annoyed, but I love watching it.
Of reality TV.
Of reality TV. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna talk about it. We just hate it. We love to hate it.
That's it. It's not that we hate it. We lived this once.
Yes.
And anybody who's watching, I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's a lot of seasons.
Can you imagine someone's like, what? It's episode 4.
We're spoiler free. It's not like anybody's living in this world being like, oh, there's only 4 seasons.
There's never ending. Seasons. You know what? I'll spoil it. There's gonna be another season and probably 7 more. There is a live season coming. We're probably gonna get all their kids, all their grandkids.
By this time it's filming, you know?
Jesus Christ. We're never gonna make it through a season 5, so that's just gonna hold off until we're 40. Anyway.
A season 5 will take 10 years.
We started season 4, I think, when I was 26, and I'm currently 27. So
that's not that crazy. Your birthday could have been yesterday.
My birthday was November. Okay, let's get
time is a thing.
Fucking out. Really quick, I want to put a disclaimer. Meredith and I are both suffering from allergies. So if you hear a cough, sorry, just ignore us.
I'm gonna muting my cough.
I'm gonna
Alicia
try.
Talks more.
And talking irritates my cough. So
yeah,
you're welcome. Just ignore me.
Wait, really quick. Did you ever watch what was it on MTV where Sadie Saxton, the character, said,
awkward,
you're welcome.
You're welcome.
There it is. Okay.
I identify with Sadie a lot. I loved her. She was my favorite character.
You're welcome right there. Really triggered it.
You're welcome. I like adapted that and I really like it years later. Okay, that's our next podcast. No, it had like 8 seasons. I think
it only had 5. It's one of my favorite shows. I love it.
I love awkward. Okay. So what do we do? Oh, it's been so long. Check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, which will be coming back live with Winter House eventually, but also we're going to do season 2. It's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
But what we're really promoting is One Season Wonders, where Meredith and I watch a show that only had 1 season, and it's either going to be, we have a ton of seasons or shows to do, but next one is either going to be Lindsay Lohan's Malibu Beach Club or Princess of Malibu.
We're doing Princess of Malibu first.
Or Hunted, if we can find that. Whenever that's streaming, we're immediately hopping on that.
I'm willing to pay for
Hunted.
It. So
I am too. Okay, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Listen, I understand we're not live. You're not reviewing us because you're not listening as much, but we have no reviews and no new ratings. Also, why would you do anything less than 5 stars? So if maybe that's why, don't leave a review if it's less than that, because we're not going to look at it.
You know what? To be honest, I'll take some 4s. If it'll get you to hit it.
What is 1 star of badness?
It's not like you have to hit all 5. You just have to hit the 5th.
Yeah. You don't have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just hit that 5th one and then
there it is.
Move on.
It's a one and done. Just crush it and then move on.
Exactly. Join our Facebook group. It's the same name as the podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta and join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get for $1 a month. You get access to all of our pre-shows. Honestly, the one we just did was super bomb.
Chef's kiss.
Amazing. So you should give us $1 just to listen to that one. Also, you get any episodes we record early, including this one. Do the math yourselves. I don't know what day it is you're listening to this, but right now it's June, beginning of June. Happy June.
Happy June.
June, what is it? June gloom, everyone.
June gloom
in California.
But you know what? Screw that. Happy Pride Month.
Oh my God. Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so fun. Pride parades. I'm going to miss mine this year. But I'm very sad.
Enjoy your Pride all year.
We're proud.
Year long is my thing.
Yeah, honestly, if you're still against the gays, you're wrong.
Stop listening. Actually.
Stop listening for real.
And do not rate this podcast at the same time.
You know what? If you're going to leave us a 1-star because you hate the LGBTQ
I'll take the 1-star
community.
This ain't
whatever.
the podcast for you though. Like
yeah,
we love the Pride episodes.
Lisa
I wish
loves
Pride episode
the Pride.
fell. Yeah,
exactly. Okay. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to our after shows because we're doing this podcast spoiler free. And the after shows are where we talk about Bravo news or any spoilers and thoughts that we had. Very fun, just extra time for us to talk, honestly. And then also we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dustin, Jackie, Casey, Kimberly, Cameron, Tiffany, Tracy, Gina, Jennifer, Kelsey, Mariah, and Sarah.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. Okay. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus for live shows, you get to give us your thoughts for the season and we'll read them on the podcast and we'll comment on them. And listen, you know what? We would give you something else if their live seasons were no longer, but we have 2 shows that continue to be live seasons. And we have 1 season wonders that we want you to get involved with. So we might add something else, but we haven't gotten there yet because we haven't finished this show, but eventually we will let you know what our thoughts are.
This has gone on for like 9 months.
Literally, this is a never ending season. Okay, and we'll pick a patron of the episode. So this week's patron of the episode is Jackie, the OG. Woo-hoo! Also, Jackie makes soap, you guys.
Actually, literally,
I have my
right
soap.
there.
I can see it.
I know. I was about to say mine's right there.
I was so excited. Listen, so Jackie's husband, Dustin, he made koozies. If you're interested, check out our Instagram. The link's in there. But also when he sent us the koozies, we got soap. And Meredith didn't tell me about the soap because she wanted it to be a surprise. But Jackie, I swear to God, I like texted Meredith. I was like, soap? I got soap? That's so cool. Like koozies were cool, but I was expecting it.
My package came first, so I showed Alicia the koozies.
Well, that's not true.
Did a little review.
I just didn't go get my package.
That's also true. Alicia did not have her like mail key and didn't go down there in time.
That was my bad.
I opened my package first, so I gave Alicia a preview of the koozies, and then I didn't tell her the other goodies because I still wanted it to be a fun surprise.
Oh my God, it was so fun. Okay, but that's it. Meredith, are you drinking? I'm drinking water so I don't die of a cough.
Yeah, I'm drinking red wine that my mom opened. Shout out to living with my parents.
Ooh, hey Chris. Okay.
He doesn't listen to the actual episode. It's just the pre-show.
What the fuck's the point of Chris then?
He wants to know about our lives.
My parents don't support this podcast at all, so they're not
financially do not support this podcast.
They kind of don't support it emotionally either. Because every time I was living at home, I was like, I have to go record. They're like, seriously, you're not going to eat dinner with us? And I was like, no.
You're like, I'm going to talk to my imaginary friend Meredith.
But I'm straight up going to buy them all koozies so they're forced to.
Genius idea. I'm going to buy them for the next family gathering.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get into this episode. It's the season finale. So you know what that means? Previously on the season.
So much. This was like 5 minutes long, I have to say.
It was a long one. Are you ready for me?
Yeah.
So Katie and Schwartz got engaged. All the girls at Sir hate Lala. Sheena thinks Ariana's personality is changing and they're not friends anymore, mostly because Sheena not only talked shit behind Ariana's back, but also reached out to Ariana's mom. Brittany, this girl from Kentucky that Jack met in Vegas, moved from Kentucky to LA to live with Jack.
Drove all the way from Kentucky.
They live in a studio together and she works at Hooters. James spit on Kristen's door.
rent free in the brain.
They obviously broke up and then he was like into Lala, but then he yelled at Lala for being a whore and now he misses Kristen. And then last episode they fucked on his car and Lala got jealous even though she told him that she was just trying to be platonic with him. Mm-hmm. So this is a mess. Sandoval wrote a song, Let's Touch in Public, and now he's making a music video for it. Stassi's back and she's living on Kristen's couch and she's here to make things right with people, but hasn't made things right with the most important person, which is Lisa. You think it'd be Katie, but it's not. It's Lisa. And so Stassi and Kristen don't get invited to the engagement party because it's at Lisa's house. And that's why Lisa's most important person. And And so now James becomes a total monster when he's drunk. He yelled at Richardson. Never forget. Jack stole sunglasses in Hawaii and then went to Hawaiian jail. He's back in LA now, but he has to go back to Hawaii for his court date. But he actually would rather go back to Hawaiian jail than live with Brittany because that studio apartment with Brittany is basically jail. So now we're here. A lot of positivity.
So much.
It's a lot of positivity. So
can I just ask what your favorite thing this season was?
was James spitting on Chris?
Oh my God, you just saying Jack's in the Hawaiian jail was my favorite thing.
Also, though, I did listen, as horrible as it was, I love how funny it is that last episode Jax is like, yeah, I could go to jail, but it's better than being with Brittany.
Like
she's gonna watch it.
He basically says the same thing this episode. He's like, the only time I got peace and quiet was in jail.
But he said it to her face. And I was like, whoa. Let's talk about it.
It's been a rough summer.
My God, I was cracking up. Let's talk about it. I had to pause. So Jax is back from Hawaii. He was around for 20 minutes. Let's talk about it. So he's at his apartment. Brittany's doing dishes because she knows Jax is going to get mad if there's dishes.
Well, I get that. It's kind of like, it's already been a stressful time. You couldn't have done the dishes.
You think Jax is bothered by, he's bothered by
he's bothered by anything. They're in a tight space. I get it. But I
you did this to yourself,
I know. But I love how she's doing him so last minute that he's walking and she's like, I'm doing the dishes.
Yeah, he texted me when he was on a flight back to Hawaii about 3 hours ago, and I chose to do it
5 minutes ago to start that.
Yeah, as he walks in the door.
As I hear the keys.
Court was fine because Brittany's like, hi, how are you? And Jax is just fucking hangry and he's tired. And he had a German TV.
He must have flown in one morning or like overnight.
Yeah.
And then flown out like the next
Remember, he flew out in the morning. Yeah. He said he caught the red eye. It doesn't add up.
That's true. He did lie about that. So he flew in the morning on Sunday, we're guessing, had court probably Monday, and then maybe took the red eye home.
I think left Monday
morning.
Night.
It was quick in and out. Like that was a lot.
Or Monday afternoon or something. And then now it's like 7 p.m. I don't know. Yeah. But something like that. But he's very upset. He hasn't eaten. He hasn't slept. He had a German TV. Which I was like, I get it. But the flight from Hawaii and California to Hawaii, I think is 5 hours. So it's like bad, but it's not that like my fucking flight was like.
That's true. And isn't it only 2 hours back from LA? Because it's like 4 hours back from Central Time.
Yeah.
So something that actually is really not that bad.
It's not bad. But
let's get it together. Come on.
All Jax wanted to do was watch TV. And
Alicia went to Hawaii from New York.
That was the worst. Yeah, but I had to pee really bad. I don't pee on planes. Anyway, so it was 24 hours earlier. Jax was in Hawaii. He went to court for 20 minutes. He was in and out, and now he's on probation. He just needs to behave. It's not going to be on his record. It's not the consequences to his own actions, people. There are none. There's never any.
I'm annoyed. Like,
me too. Who's this judge?
You didn't steal sunglasses for like $20 sunglasses from Walmart. Yeah. You went to a fucking designer store and then gave them to your girlfriend who wore them around all week
and took pictures in them and like didn't even return them.
It just angers me. I needed a real consequence.
Well, he's happy to be back, but he was happy to be gone for some peace and quiet because now he's here and there's construction and Brittany's fucking here and her clothes are everywhere and he's a neat freak, which we've never heard about before, but that's something new. So then he's like, Brittany, I asked you to get a new apartment and I asked you to do everything. And Brittany was like, I don't know anything about LA. Here
3 months ago.
He's like, that's not my problem. And so then he yells at Brittany for only having one job, making him happy.
It's so funny because he's always like, I asked you to do this. And she's like, well, I don't know anything. And he's like, why are you mad at me?
Why don't you Google it?
He's like yelling at her. And then he's like, why are you mad?
But like, could you imagine? We both lived in Chicago, right? Someone comes to move with us, has never been to Chicago, doesn't know any of the neighborhoods. And then what? I'm not going to put them in charge of finding my apartment.
Agree with that. There's a weird thing. I can kind of see both sides though. It's like just fine. Just, you could ask all of our friends too.
She could.
There is some things she could do.
She could.
But at the same time,
I mean, we've both moved to new cities and figured it out.
And been fine. Like, there's some Googling you could do. I feel like she could have handled this. But I understand why she would say, the part I get is like her saying, like, you just went to Hawaii. When am I supposed to schedule a time to see an apartment? Like, she could do the research.
I get that. Yeah. So then we cut really quick. Stassi actually found herself a new apartment. So she's living Jax's dream.
Talking about finding an apartment. Here we go, finally.
And it met her requirements. She's got the walls, she's got the floor, she's got the molding she wants. She's got it all.
I love it.
Incredible.
These are my requirements, minus the color of the wall. I just want a neutral color.
I want a good vibe. Yes. Yeah. She's getting her mojo back. Kristen shows up with yellow flowers, which represents friendships and new beginnings. And actually, I did know this because my dad always gets my mom yellow flowers. And I'm like, you're basically friend zoning her. Whoa. And he's like, no, it was the first flowers I ever got her. He gets her yellow roses. Oh. And I'm always like, but you're kind of friend zoning her.
No, I think that's kind of pretty that, like, maybe back in the day, the first time you give them to her was friend zone-ish. But it's kind of nice because the foundation of a good, like, romantic relationship is friendship.
I mean, they've been married for 28 years, but every time I
don't think the color of the roses will affect her.
I don't think my mom gives a fuck. Yeah. Kristen also shows up with alcohol because
a true
Kristen.
Friend.
Yes. Kristen's so happy to have her bestie back. This is the best day of her life. And Stassi's excited because she hasn't lived alone since before Jax, which by God was 2 years before Vanderpump Rules started.
It's been 6 years.
Oh, and Meredith and I thrive on living alone. So this is like our nightmare.
We will never get married because we want to live alone.
My dream is to have my boyfriend live next door.
Yeah, no, I need a few floors in between, but same sentiment.
Yeah. Okay, but then we're back at Jax's apartment and he just can't escape Brittany. A relationship should be 50-50 and Jax should be getting something out of it. And Brittany's like, I'm sorry. What? Brittany says she left her family. She worked at Hooters and supported Jax when he was let go from work for that small period of time.
2 weeks.
And she goes, you think this is my dream? And he's like, I'm a dream.
I appreciate her sticking up for herself here.
Yeah,
like,
thank God.
Fuck you. You don't get something, like, we both give and get.
Yes.
But you're not the only one giving here.
Jax gave her boobs.
No, fuck that shit. He wanted boobs, so he gave himself boobs. Remember when he picked out the size?
Yeah. Also, listen, gaslighting is never funny, but he straight up looks at her and goes, I can't believe you're making this all about you.
Oh,
and she's like, what?
I would have slapped him and left the fuck out. I would have booked it to Stassi's new apartment.
Same. And then openly says that he was the most at peace in jail. And I was like, Brittany, get the fuck out. And she's not even mad. She's not even mad. She just sits there.
I understand him thinking this, but to say it to her, if he said this in an interview, I'd be like, I get it. A studio apartment with another human is tough.
Yeah, I would say that. I'd be like, I'm losing my mind.
Totally understand why you'd say this in an interview. To say it to her face is so insane.
So insane. And also, it's not her. Any two people in a studio apartment are going to hate each other at some point, right?
Yep.
Especially if you're used to living alone, which I think Jax kind of is.
And he clearly makes split decisions and regrets them like 5 seconds later.
Yeah. So like, if you just got one more room, I think you'd be okay. Don't blame it on her.
I think we could be better off. I still think he rushed into this.
But
another room would be helpful.
It would help him not tell Brittany to her face that he hates her, basically.
That he would prefer jail.
It's just, I can't believe she didn't leave.
Also,
I can't
doesn't
believe
he know jail is basically just a 1-bedroom studio with another human?
But yeah, you're right. You are within it. Sometimes you're by yourself. Maybe he would luck out.
Kind of like at the hospital. Maybe you get lucky.
I don't know how many criminals are in Hawaii, but there might be enough room for each of them to have
if I'm going to get arrested somewhere, I'll make it be
Hawaii. Okay, so then we go to Sir. James is here. I think he's busboying still because he didn't actually get any consequences.
Not a legit on probation, but a demotion.
a demotion. He says sup to Tom and Ariana. James hasn't had a drink in 2 weeks, but he's sober texting Kristen, so we're not all okay.
Oh, I didn't even get put 2 and 2 together.
I was like, if we're not drunk, does texting Kristen make it worse almost? Like sober?
I guess that means he truly wants to do it, It's not just in his subconscious that comes out when he's hammered. He is actively wanting it.
But even Ariana and Tom are like, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, but that's worse than the devil to them.
That's
so you could just say I looked her in the eyes and they'd be like, seriously?
I didn't turn to stone. Can you believe?
So you just said her name 3 times. She's gonna appear.
But yeah, James says he loves Kristen, but he likes Lala. So basically, whichever is easiest, he's gonna do. Which makes me think he doesn't love Kristen. He just wants some pussy. Whose
door will open wider? And I was like,
Kristen's.
That you might as well just said whose legs. You just should go for it.
Oh, it's just so funny. Okay, so Lala is safety pinning her dress with Sheena in the bathroom. She's nervous for the engagement party tomorrow because Katie actually did invite Lala, and Lala's very nervous because she knows the girls kind of hate her, but wants to kind of make a good impression, I guess, at this point to move forward.
I like that.
And Sheena tells Lala to dress for a mom and grandma meeting you for the first time, which is good. That's good advice.
Yes, especially because we're at Lisa's house.
Yes. And then Sheena's like, I don't know why you're worried. I'm worried that my ex-best friend Ariana's
talking about you. Let's talk about me.
We've been on you for way too long. It's my time. And then Lala's like, great, Sheena, let's talk about me again. Kristen and James are gonna be there, which I was like, Lala's got more problems.
Yes.
Mostly because Kristen called her a ratchet whore, and James told Lala, which is not great for his relationship with Kristen, but yeah. But Lala is ratchet, but not a whore, which is fair.
You know what? Fair. I do give it to Lala for just owning shit left and right.
Which makes me think yeah, you're right. She's not a whore, because I think she would own if she was a whore, but she's not.
I mean,
she
not here for the name calling
for a long time,
but I appreciate that she's sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
But who can hurt her is James, because she really likes him.
Weird. So weird.
So weird.
She ran from it and she played the cool girl act, but she's
that was her wall. Her wall went up.
And you know what? James played this shit great. He went back to Kristen, which made Lala jealous.
And now he's got 2 doors.
2 legs to spread.
2 legs. 2 pairs of legs.
I should probably stop using. I feel like we should go to doors. It just, I feel like I need to
some mystery, Meredith.
Scrub my whole body after saying that twice.
Okay, so Jax is at Sir now. Away from Brittany, thank God. Am I right? She's at Hooters. So he got no time, and Ariana could not be less thrilled.
Yeah.
She's
no. I really thought I was gonna get at least a few days away from you.
But then Sandoval says that Jax has stolen from him, slept with his girlfriend, made rumors about him. He would still miss Jax if he went to jail, which I was like, Sandoval has such a good, clean heart, I think.
Yeah, but us as viewers, we would probably miss him too.
Oh yeah, but we don't have to deal with him.
That's true. He hasn't stolen from me, except for my time. He hasn't slept with my girlfriend or boyfriend. No. I guess I'm better off than Sandoval.
Yeah, and he doesn't make rumors about us because he's too busy defending the rumors made up about him on Twitter. Because that's what this time was.
I was about to say,
this was some Twitter time.
In this time, he was a rage tweeter.
He's a tweeter. So but this might be the end of Jax's 9 lives. We'll see. So Lisa's here and she's like, hey, my dude, Jax, what you doing here?
Wow.
And he's like, I didn't get any time. They don't have time for people like me in Hawaii.
I barely did anything. They got murderers. Come on. I did nothing.
Yeah. Hawaii's known for all their murders. Am I right? And Lisa gets really mad because Jax is minimizing. He's not actually saying like, I know I did wrong. I got lucky and like, I'm here to make myself better. He's like, I didn't murder anyone.
Or even like, thank God they didn't have time for me.
No, nothing. And then Jax is like, it's not my fault. And Lisa's like, never is.
You're missing
never
the
will
point.
be. Don't care about you. And then he's like, Lisa, stop verbally abusing me. And she's like, get out of my face. And you hear him go, don't tell me to get out of your face.
Oh, I would have clocked him right there if I were her.
Same. She should have fired him. She should have been like, bye.
Because remember when James was giving her sass and she was like, oh, now you're going to sass me? Like, Jax is on probation. I wish she would have given the same heat at that moment to be like, oh, you better watch yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Shut the fuck up. But then he says, because she's like, stop being aggressive. And he says he's only aggressive because he had to fly and listen to a German movie. So it's not his fault. But yeah.
And I was like, okay, thanks for the explanation about why you're pissed, but you still matter. Choose your reaction every time.
You only had to listen to a German movie on a flight because you stole sunglasses. Like it like doesn't connect.
Yeah, why is this my fault that you had to fly all the way back to Hawaii for 24 hours and listen to a German movie? Like why are you bringing it out on me?
Thank God for Steven though, who gets Lisa a glass of rosé.
She needed it.
So then we go to Katie and Tom's engagement party at Lisa's house. Schwartz, Sheena, and Katie are here to set up, unload. There's so many details. It's super fucking hot out, and Katie didn't bring umbrellas. And Lisa's like, well, I'm not going to a party without umbrellas, so you could use my umbrellas, even though I said you weren't going to use my umbrellas, but this is for my own comfort. And then Schwartz is the only person that can get the umbrellas, and he's useless because he's scared of closing an umbrella, but eventually gets it because Lisa tells him to fucking cut it out.
I'm like, why didn't we bring Sandoval here?
Yeah, because Sandoval would get shit done. Yes. But he's working because he has a job and Tom Schwartz is just an actor.
Good point.
Okay, so then we go to Tom and Ariana's apartment. They need to get ready because tonight Tom Sandoval is performing Let's Touch in Public with his bandmate that's either Ralph or Randall or Randy or something like that. But go, guy, go.
We're not great at side characters.
I think it's Randy. I thought about writing it down.
Okay, but we got yelled at once on Summer House for not getting the side character. So I'm just saying it's hard to catch them all. I did not mean that to be a Pokemon reference.
But also they never said, listen, Summer House, I can understand because they actually said his name. They never said this dude's name. We got one little
didn't even catch it.
Anyway, so we're getting ready to Let's Touch in Public. Ariana knows she needs to talk to Sheena tonight. And the drama, and Sandoval's like, let's do this. I
love how Ariana phrased it. I'm over the pageant queen like version of Sheena.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop with the scripted answers and all the bullshit. Like, let's get back to like a real friendship.
She says it later, but Sheena loves to be popular.
I mean, I can't wait to get there.
Ariana's not popular, but we're going to end it. Okay, so now we're at Kristen's apartment, and Kristen and Stassi are getting ready because guess who's showing up fashionably late? It's these bitches, and there is a possibility Kristen's going to kick them out. Or not Kristen, Lisa's going to kick them out. Kristen, though, doesn't care because she knows the feeling of being kicked out of Lisa's
blood pressure rise like 10 levels when they're like we're going?
Like,
I mean, we already knew from the the next time on, but like when they start getting ready, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Like Mission Impossible.
I was nervous because it's kind of disrespectful, right? Someone's like, I don't want this person in my house, and you're still gonna go.
I know. And
like, dad's balls.
I mean, I give it to Stassi for being like, if Kristen wasn't so crazy,
I wouldn't go.
I wouldn't do this. And I agree with that. Like when one of your friends is like way more out there, you're like, all right, I guess I'll go too.
Yeah, because she's like, I have self-respect and dignity.
Yep.
And Kristen doesn't. So we're gonna go, I guess. But she's also nervous because she has to see Jax, and that's gonna be kind of weird.
Which I was like, whoa.
I didn't even think about that. That was not on my list of things.
It's probably been since season 3, like reunion, that she's seen him.
Yeah, because then she up and left to New York.
Yeah.
With Patrick, the unknown man.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so now we're at Jax's apartment. He's nervous to see Stassi too, but he's had 3 girlfriends since her because he's a lady killer. And they're in different relationships. They're
okay.
fine.
I've had 3 relationships since her doesn't like say how long of time, because remember those 2 he had at the same time?
Cameron and what's her nuts? The one that lived in Vegas.
I don't know.
Are those the 2? And then Brittany, or was there someone else?
I feel like, well, Kristen. No, I'm kidding.
There was someone else Stassi listed later.
Carmen.
It's like, I liked Carmen. Oh, Rachel, but Rachel was before Stassi. Yeah, okay. So it had to be that other girl, the Vegas girl that he was 2-timing Carmen and this other girl with, and then Brittany.
Don't come for us, because I don't remember what their names are.
This girl literally doesn't matter. Don't come for us. Who can't? The girl from Vegas, we know she's from Vegas, and we know she always flew in to see him, and that's how he was 2-timing her with Carmen, because whatever. And then remember, he broke up with Carmen for the other girl.
No, I swear he broke up. Oh yeah, he broke up with Carmen for the other girl, and then he regretted it, and then he saw Carmen at Sheena's wedding, right?
Yeah, he like ended up wanting to pick Carmen.
Yeah, who's Kristen's friend. That was the best.
Okay, everyone, I'm Googling it. It was Oh my God, what a weird ad. Stassi, Kristen, Sheena. This is not a reliable. Oh, wait. I think it lists each individual person's stuff. Okay. Laura Lee, Carmen, Tiffany. It was
Tiffany.
Vale wasn't really his girlfriend. That's kind of a lie.
That was a stretch. Come on. She went on a real date with Peter. That was so awkward.
Yeah, sweetly. But that's a real first date. That's how we know it was a real first date.
Good Lord.
So then we're back at Kristen's apartment, and James is texting Kristen that he misses her and he loves her. And Kristen just wants the best for James, and she's not responsible for him, but she wants to aid in helping him. And Stassi's like, what the fuck? You don't have to do that. And Kristen's like, this is his last chance. So basically, both James and Kristen are fucking nutty to even want this again.
And I was like, okay, James must also have a magic dick that like got Kristen back on the hook.
Yeah.
Because he spit on her fucking door and she's like, I'm back.
I was about to say, Kristen, I'm not rooting for you, but also you deserve better than someone who's
have some respect.
Door. Also, I know Kevin was kind of a loser, but you liked sleeping with him. And then Carter's kind of, I don't know what happened to him.
She was all in on this new guy.
She was all in on Carter. And now we have this. Okay, so we're at the engagement party. Tom and Katie's moms are here, Katie's grandma, Katie's brothers. Katie's dad couldn't make it, but that means he's definitely coming to the wedding, which I don't know why that's what that means.
I hope so. Good God.
I would hope so. If he's around, I hope your father's at your wedding.
Yeah, I hope it, whatever
you want.
Whatever reason he couldn't be at this one, I really hope there's not a problem with the wedding.
Yeah, I hope not. So Tom Sandoval is wearing a candy necklace when he explains that he has triplet brothers that aren't here. I was like, oh my God, what a cute picture.
He's like, oh, they obviously couldn't come. Fort Lauderdale. I'm like, that isn't
Jacksonville.
Oh, that's it. He's like acting like it's like the moon.
Yeah,
he's like, oh,
they live in Jacksonville,
they live on
Florida.
The moon. Yeah.
No, actually, this isn't really a spoiler, but they also have a fear of flying, just like his father, who's also, I think, in Florida.
Not Fort Lauderdale.
They never specified where Dad was, but Dad would have to fly.
Fort Lauderdale. I think it's because of all the below deck people live in
Fort Lauderdale for sure. It's like if you're from Bravo, you live in Fort Lauderdale. It's not LA.
You're either Miami Housewives or you're Fort Lauderdale.
So yeah, I think all of his brothers plus his dad all have a fear of flying. Dad's location is unknown. Okay, I would assume Jacksonville.
Also, after this, I'm like, okay, so they're all gonna drive for 3 years to get to this wedding,
right? Okay, I understand the engagement party. I understand not flying, and if you have a deathly fear of flying, but if you know your brother is gonna get married on this day, wouldn't you think you would drive?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how long it takes to drive there, but I'm like, what jobs did they do? Can you take off like the 4 days to drive there?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good point. Not everyone for work can take time off. So that could possibly be something.
So I'm like, are they going to make it?
I
Can
am
meet
so
these triplets?
fascinated by Tom Schwartz's life before Vanderpump Rules. So we find out he has triplet brothers, which I don't think we ever found
I'm
that
like,
out before.
are they IVF
think
triplets?
they're younger.
Are they natural triplets? I need to know more. Can we get a K plus 8 special on them?
They're from Jacksonville, Florida, which we know Tom Schwartz is from Florida, but we also know he went to school to be a doctor, which also fascinates me.
Yes.
I just have so
pre-med.
many questions.
He didn't actually go to like
no. He was pre-med. He didn't actually graduate college. But I just want to know about his family. Like, how'd you grow up? What was happening? What do your brothers do? What do your parents do? Because now you're an actor. If there
are any, like Bravo does those clips of like, or nowadays in 2022 for like Real Housewives, they do those little after show things. I wonder if they did any of those at this time where they talk about the families.
Because I want to know, like, was one of his parents a doctor that they're like, you should become a doctor? Was he like, did maybe he grow up with less money and he's like, I want to become a doctor to support my family?
If you know
like,
these things, slide into our DMs.
And I could probably look it up, but I'm not gonna. Seems like his triplet brothers want to remain anonymous.
If you just already know this, slide into the
What do you
DMs.
think their names are? Do you think they all rhyme? That's my other question.
The same first letter, I'm gonna guess.
So you guess like Billy, Bob, and Ben.
Okay, not those exact names, but the idea behind it. Yeah. That was quick. Good on that rapid fire.
If that's their names,
I will pay you $1,000.
I highly doubt that's their names. Okay, Lala's here with Faith. Lala had 14 mimosas and shots of vodka before going. 14 mimosas would send me. And Lala's a small girl.
Honey, don't tempt me with a good time. I'll see you at brunch next time.
14 mimosas.
But that's an exaggeration. I always think
obviously, but like
it's kind of like the opposite of telling a doctor. When you're talking to your friends about drinking, you add numbers. When you talk to a doctor, you subtract. But she probably had like 8 to 10.
And shots of vodka. Also, shots of vodka.
Did she specify how many?
No, she just said, and shots of vodka. Which,
did you dump those in the mimosa? Did you take them separate?
I don't know, but if you're taking a shot of vodka, you are a different species, and I love you. It's a middle tier of liquor I would take a shot of. See, I love mixed drinks with vodka. I'm a vodka bitch.
Me too.
I don't really love, but obviously if you're going to take a shot, just make it tequila. Obviously if they're like, we don't have limes, I'm not going to be like, give me tequila. I'd be like, just give me the vodka. I'll do Fireball. I'll do tequila. I'll do vodka on a rare occasion. Fireball. I cannot do whiskey I can't do Jameson. All my friends take Jameson shots. I did it one time. I'm like, die. I need a minute. Okay. So Sheena and Lala show up in the same hair. Honestly, Lala kind of did it better. I agree, but it's so Sheena to be like, wow, matching hair. Sheena just goes, that's so funny. Like, it ain't that fun. This was definitely like, I'm thinking it's like 2014. This was a hairstyle. Like, this is common. This ain't. I'm trying to think of a hairstyle that's not a common. This was a time. I mean, like a messy bun is timeless. Oh, yeah, but not to an engagement party. Oh, no, absolutely not. That's like saying, oh my God, we both curled our hair. Bangs. Yeah, this is bangs. This time, these little pony things were a thing. This was it. Oh, Bump It. That was a time. There it is. We both have it's Bump It. 2009, and we're like, wow, we both showed up in a Bump It. DM us if you ever wore a Bump It. Never did. I never did too. My hair is crazy enough. I could never put that in my hair. I cannot do shit like that. Do you remember the infomercial for it? We're on a tangent, but do you remember that? I'm like, wow, did a somewhat stellar bun today. Yes, I remember that. This is my favorite. Okay, so Lisa's entertaining the moms and the adults. Katie's grandma's really happy because Schwartz treats his mother great. So that means he's going to treat Katie great, which I agree. I think it's more, well, he did dump a drink on her head one time, but I think Katie's the one that kind of is more. Yeah, but if he dumped a drink on his mom's head, that's where we'd be concerned. Then that's, yeah, questions. Tequila Katie fucking deserved that drink, kind of. Different bitch, so. And then Ken I guess, was the same way when Lisa met him. And then Ken shows up with a dog and all the ladies go crazy. It's a time.
Oh, what a time. I kind of love parent moments.
I do too. I really liked this. I would rather watch it than seeing them play bags and Ariana blow bubbles to avoid Sheena.
That was a weird thing. I didn't even know we had
bubbles.
All of that. I'm like, this is an engagement party, not a barbecue. No offense,
so
people.
Everyone show up in lace dresses so we can play bags and eat asparagus.
At Lisa's house too.
Who brought bags?
I was just like, when did this all happen?
Bags
Where did we get these?
You're having a block party. You're like, I'll bring bags.
Totally fine if you have the game at your engagement party. We're at Lisa Vanderpump's house. It wasn't the vibe. I cannot imagine showing up and being like, Lisa, do you want to play around?
I brought bags.
Yeah.
They're in my car.
They're in my trunk.
Okay, but Sheena feels like there's a VIP table for two, and that's Sandoval and Ariana, which I was like, I think they just are waiting their turn for bags.
I'm like I'm sorry, she enjoyed the bubbles.
It was a very small table. There was a camera on one side.
Bags has 4 people who can play. If you didn't pick her as your partner, what did you want from her?
We're waiting for a turn for bags. So then we see Stassi and Kristen. They're outside. They're walking up. Stassi tells Kristen to shut the fuck up because Kristen is nervous talking. This bitch will not stop. Which, Kristen, you know it's a bad idea. Shut up. The key
of sneaking in somewhere is being fucking quiet. Don't draw attention.
Also, when you're nervous, right? I get this. Some people nervous talk. I can do nervous talk.
Totally.
But if I know I'm showing up somewhere, we're gonna nervous talk in the car, and then I'm gonna get out and focus.
And I don't know you anymore. I'm like, we're going in separate entrances.
Yeah, because if you get kicked out, I'm not getting kicked out. It's every man for himself.
We're robbing a bank, basically.
Yes. But Kristen actually crashes events for fun. So this is every day. So then they walk in and everyone knows how bad it is, right? James is like, oh, fuck, Peter shit himself.
Immediately clocked. Like, oh, there they are.
They didn't sneak in. They made an entrance.
Yes. It's like they're the couple.
Even Shay was like, I need a drink behind Sheena's. It's like, Sheena's distracted. I gotta get a drink.
She's like, I could
why
rip
didn't you text me before?
7 shots right now.
Stassi, I asked you to text me so I could sneak a shot. You didn't send it. So then Katie is a little scared, but she's kind of happy to see them. Sheena knows it's bad. She doesn't get up to greet them at all.
Here's the thing for Katie. She can't seem too excited, or it seems like she told them they could come. She goes, oh my God. And then Schwartz straight up says, Lisa's going to be pissed. And he's like hugging them. He's like, I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah, Lisa's
like,
mad at you.
Lisa rules the roost and I follow Lisa.
He looks Lisa straight in the eye. He's like, I didn't do this.
Wasn't me.
Surprisingly, I know what you think, but
it was Katie.
I had balls this time.
It was Katie.
So they say hi to Lisa, which I think is the right thing to do, right? You're clocked. You say hi to the person.
If you've been made, you got to walk up to and say, hey, so calmly, so chill. That's it.
So Lisa tells them not to fuck up the afternoon and says, do whatever you want. She kind of doesn't care, which I think is worse than like her being mad at you. She like does not care about you.
Good point. Yeah. But here's the thing about Lisa. She is a lady. She would not scream at you. No. If she wanted to scream at you, she'd be like, come with me. Come behind
my house. Let's see what happens.
Let's go.
Hey, Ken, bring the dogs.
the little poop.
Shaggy beats the shit out of him. So, okay. They're not going to fuck it up though. Katie's their friend. They're here to make her day special.
Great.
So then Brittany and Stassi meet. And Stassi, as we said, has always loved Jack's taste in women, right? Her, Rachel, she liked Carmen.
Yeah.
Still friends with Rachel.
You know what? I will give him that. He does have good taste.
Yeah, we all like his girlfriends better than him.
Yeah,
so great.
He can pick them. He just can't keep them or treat them right.
No, Brittany and Stassi though are nothing alike. But then Stassi's like, I recommend getting his passwords, and Brittany's like, I already have them. And Stassi's like, I'm impressed. Ooh, you are like me.
Touche,
bitch.
Which I didn't. I kind of felt like Brittany was just saying that.
I did too, because no offense to Brittany, but she doesn't seem like the type that's gonna hound for some passwords.
No, Jack picked at least a kind of naive girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't peg her for the
who
type
didn't
to
watch
be like,
the show.
Like, give me the passwords now.
Yeah. We'll see if anything actually happens. So then we see James. I thought he was maybe drinking. We later find out he's high, but he was definitely off. But then
I forgot he was quote unquote sober.
He's something, but he's off here. He's definitely not okay.
He's not terrible though, but you could just tell like in the eyes.
But he's off. He's not completely sober. But he shows Lisa that he made the Pump CD behind her back, and he's so excited. And Lisa's like, "Don't care that much, but congrats," because Lisa makes money either way.
Yes, and I kind of thought this like showed his dedication to DJing and music, and I think this was a good move. Agreed.
And Lisa's proud of him because she knows James is working hard, but also alcohol is the enemy. So you gotta be careful. And then James sees Kristen and they kiss.
Oh my God.
And Lala sees, this is messy. James is messy.
I know. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And he even shows Kristen the CD and she's all about it. And she's so proud of him. And like Lala's watching this whole thing and she hates everything about Kristen, which then like Kristen tried to take a drink from a straw, which we know I hate. So I was like, she probably
I do have to say that happened to me last week and I literally thought of you and I was like, I fucking hate myself.
Where she can't catch the straw.
I was talking to somebody and I went for it and then I was like, and then I just stopped. And then I really
reset. She chases. But yeah, I was like, that's probably why Lala hates her because she saw her try to take a drink.
Well, and Lala's a little jealous.
Lala's very jealous. So Jax then, so it's like Brittany and Stassi are stand next to each other. Jax comes right in the middle because why the fuck not? And he does not say hi to Stassi.
No.
She's not about to turn around. Absolutely not.
Doesn't acknowledge him.
No.
To see it.
She feels him and he sounds very loud. I feel like you would hear him coming
but
from
I feel like
away.
You can like feel people's eyes on you. You can feel like people's energy.
Feel his and she knows him
everybody
well
else
enough.
Would say hi to you. Or like mention something to you if they were that close.
Right, it's your ex. You're gonna stand right next to them and ignore each other. Yeah, she knows. So then Lisa gives a speech. She's known Schwartz and Katie for many years. She's surprised and is surprised to see some people here, but knows that the people most important to Schwartz and Katie and their lives are here. So that's what matters. And then she opens the floor up. Does anyone else want to say anything? And Kristen is the only one for some reason to raise her hand. And Lisa says, let me try this again. Literally anyone but Kristen. And
she's
Kristen's
like, please don't.
Kristen's like, ha ha. Give me the mic, Lisa.
Oh my God. See, this is where Stassi standards show. I'm not going to crash an event and draw attention to myself.
Yeah. Also, listen, Kristen, when it comes to weddings, there's an art form to giving speeches. You got 4 minutes max.
Yes.
And no inside jokes. You got to just say something like a quick story.
If it's an quote unquote inside joke, you have to be able to understand it.
Yeah, give some background, make it cute, fun story. She goes up there and she's like, I'm gonna give myself some credit because when Tom Schwartz showed up from Florida in his car to Sandoval's apartment to be a actor and moved in and they became best friends.
It's all one sentence too. And like, then you're not leading people on a journey. You got to tell a story.
Hey, Tom Schwartz came down LA to become a actor
in his
found him off
shitty
Craigslist.
Little car.
Yeah, found him off Craigslist. Moved in with my boyfriend and I thought I know the perfect girl for you. No, she's like describing how weird he is. And I was like, literally,
all these, but she's just like literally putting commas upon commas in sentences.
And then he came from Craigslist. And then I saw him eat a hot dog. And then I knew Katie should meet him. And then I took her and him and Katie together. And then they found shut the fuck up. And even Stassi is up there with her like, oh, this is bad.
I don't like giving speeches and I had to felt forced into a speech at the rehearsal dinner of my friend's wedding because a bunch of groomsmen did, and all the bridesmaids looked around and was like, somebody's got to do it. And so I was like, I can go up and give a small one. It's just about like moments we've had together. And you're right, like 4 minutes. You've got 4 minutes max.
4 minutes max. You lose the crowd. Don't go up there and be like, ha ha ha.
This one random time that I saw somebody walking down the street.
That's fine. Like, tell a story. But if you're like, haha, Meredith, unapologetically full, everything like, what the fuck is that? You're right. Oh my God. It was bad. It was
people
all
would be
bad.
Like, what? Yeah.
It was all bad. So, so Lala takes it upon herself 14 mimosas in to say, can you wrap it up? And Christina Kelly doesn't flinch next to her because she hates Kristen too. So I think Christina was happy about it.
And like Lala says in her interview, like, I was just saying what everybody was thinking.
Which is fucking true.
It is true.
Because Sandoval was like,
but you're not that close.
Yeah, you can't.
To the bride and groom. You can't say what everybody's thinking if your opinion at the event doesn't matter.
And the problem is, like, if Katie and Tom are enjoying it, then we all have to enjoy it. Like at a wedding, like when a dad goes on a 10-minute speech, you know the bride loves it and we all hate it.
You tune it out. But when people clap, you clap.
Yeah. So Katie then tells Lala not to be rude. And she goes up there and she's like, excuse me, like, if you came here to just be rude, that's not okay. Like, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, once Katie gave her little lecture, Kristen did stop. So, yeah, I mean, shout out Lala for a second.
For ending it for the rest of us.
I wish it was anonymous, but it was a good time.
You know how sometimes you get like the minutes or like, you get like a timer, like,
which makes me think it wasn't that long. It was just boring.
I think it was a dumb speech that made no sense, and it was probably our 4-minute rule.
Yeah. So we're at Sir for the after party. James walks in with Lala, which is not who we kiss, so we're confused. But you know what? Who cares? Because we're gonna take shots. And then James tells Jax not to tempt him because Jax is like, shots, and James is like, don't tempt me, boy.
Which I was like, is this when they like get into it? And I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because Jax is just like, sure, bye. And then Sheena asks Ariana to talk, and Sheena's just like, hey, we're not on the same page. I don't even know if you want to be friends. And Ariana's like, depends on which Sheena I'm going to be friends with. How about that? And then she's like, or Ariana tells Sheena to stop talking shit behind her back. And Sheena's like, I don't do that. And then Bravo gives us 4 minutes of Sheena talking shit. And then
some of them are just like, I would say lighthearted, needing to say things to your friends like, why is she so upset today? Like random shit. But I would say at least 50% is Sheena being a bad friend.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so then Ariana calls Sheena straight out for wanting to be popular and friends with everyone.
Yep.
And Sheena knows that she's that way. And she starts crying, I think, because she knows she's out. She's out of the group.
I think she knows it and knows her needing to be popular and friends with everyone isn't working as well as it did maybe like 3-4 months ago.
Yeah, and she's been demoted to third best friend now that Katie and Kristen are back. And she knows that too. And that's why she's now crying, asking Ariana to be friends again. Because Ariana is straight up like, I'm worried about you and shit.
Yeah. When you treat the real ones like shit and then you realize it, you realize I feel like Sheena's realizing what she's done. She's abandoned a real friend for the idea of something.
Care. Yeah, people who don't care about you, honestly. And so Sheena really does apologize, and I believe it.
I believe it.
They hug. Ariana says, this is the real Sheena.
Yeah.
And so they're friends. And then James and Lala at this party are kissing. Like she bites his tongue. Super weird. Listen, whatever you do in your private time is your business, but like don't do it at in front of this camera. I don't want to see it.
Okay, here's the thing.
She bit it.
Everybody gets autonomy over their bodies, but I just want you to know other people are around it and they may not enjoy it.
No. Never.
I just want to share that because I'm a person who doesn't enjoy it.
Oh, I hate it. Kristen sees, she doesn't necessarily hate it, but she's pissed.
She clocks it like Lala clocked Kristen reading from that CD earlier.
But like scarier. Like
true.
Kristen, like Lala did this thing where she like noticed it and then pretended not to look, but like kept watching. Kristen straight up saw it and did not break
and
contact.
Was staring like 3 feet away from them.
She already had the straw in her mouth and she was just sipping, staring.
Then she had the straw. Don't worry, everyone.
Had the straw. So then Kristen calls Lala a walking STD,
which I was like,
what the fuck? Like sometimes when people say insults, I'm always like, how'd you think of it? Like what? Because I wouldn't think of this in a million years. I never
read. And to be honest,
walking
Lala doesn't let too much get to her. Like this doesn't offend her.
No, she just tells
she'd be like,
Kristen,
okay.
shut up. She's like, shut up, Kristen. And then Kristen does that thing where she's like, oh, I'm so scared. Oh. And Lala's like, you don't want to mess with me. And Kristen continues to be bitchy. So they get in each other's faces and Lala pushes Kristen, which I gotta give it. Kristen's way bigger than Lala.
Yeah.
Which you don't think, because Kristen's a tiny girl, but up next to each other.
We know Kristen
kickboxes.
Just
that
like
bitch is strong.
If I were to pick someone over knowing like them, Kristen for now 4 years and Lala for let's say
4 months or whatever. Yeah.
I'd pick Kristen in a fight.
I would too in a second. Lala's scrappy though. Lala's scrap. This showed her that she does not back down.
I do think she's a bad bitch, but I don't think she could win a fight.
No, I think Kristen. I think Kristen could destroy us.
Lala has a bigger bark that scares people off.
Yeah, I think Kristen's chopping your head off, while
like sleeping with your boyfriend, or like would get you in other ways.
Lala's just gonna verbally destroy your ass.
Yeah, but I would like walk away from Lala. Crazy. I feel like Kristen would follow me.
Yeah. So then Lala or James and Peter kind of get in the middle.
Yeah.
Poor Peter. He's got to fucking defend this restaurant he manages.
So wasn't even invited to the engagement party and here he is.
I know. So Lala walks away and then everyone's like, Kristen, you're better than this, which I was like, not really, but you know,
not really. And she's like,
fine.
I know I am. And I'm like, honey, you ain't.
And she lights her cigarette with a candle. I cried. This bitch is crazy. I want her on my TV forever. I know she's the worst.
Like, of course, I'm better than this.
Takes the candle and like it was amazing. That was the best part.
Oh my god.
So then Stassi tells Lala to chill. She's like, Lala, listen, I'm all about fighting Kristen, but you gotta take it down a notch. Yeah. And Lala's like, if you don't like me, blow me.
Oh my god, because Stassi gives her good advice. Just say you were wrong right here, right now, and just be like, "Oh, fine. It got to me." And she's like, "No, I'm never wrong. If you don't like me, blow me."
And Stassi's face was like, "What?"
She's like, "We have a whole new genre on this show."
What Kristen used to be like.
She's like, "Wow,
suck a dick, Diana." That was this level.
Suck a dick, Diana.
You don't like me, blow me, Diana. I mean, it's awesome.
Basically the same energy.
This fight cracked me up. It was everything I wanted in a Kristen versus Lala fight. This is all I could ever ask for. It was a 10 out of 10 for me. So Lisa and Ken show up after. So then Ariana goes, "Hey, you guys, do you want to hear a really cool song?" And everyone goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "Okay, we have to go over there." And then we all sit down and listen to Let's Touch in Public. But first, Sheena goes, "Oh my God, am I performing Good as Gold?"
Wait, Ariana's response is even better. She goes, we don't have a bar for you to stand on.
It was awesome. That's a jam. And then honestly, Let's Touch in Public is fun. It was a good one. It wasn't as good as Gold.
Okay,
but
the song and the music video were cool. Them performing it, I will take Sheena every day of the week.
The performance was super weird
because they were clearly lip syncing.
Yeah.
And then there was just like some weird fog stuff.
Yeah, I don't. And they were like dancing like like they were the backup dancers. Like it was,
I was like,
crazy.
okay, I used to think this was cool, but now I don't.
No, it's crazy. And then so they're all sitting down ready to watch it. James faded as fuck with Lala on his lap when Kristen's right there, like we're normal. But Lala got a straw in her mouth on the first try. So Kristen, I don't know. But yeah, Lisa sits right by Stassi and Kristen for the performance. Brittany videotapes the performance, which I thought was cute because Jax has openly hated this music for this band for a long time.
Until tonight, he's on board.
Yeah, Peter's girlfriend Sarah is jamming. Jax actually likes the song, but hey, it's not gonna go anywhere. So
he's right though.
We got it. Yeah,
he's right.
We get a fun group pic that Max takes, and then we have
poor Max. He doesn't get to be in the photo.
That's what I said. Underrated. Even Ken and Lisa were like, Max, can you take this with our real kids?
Come on, Pandora needs to be in it, even though she's not here.
Poor Max. He deserves so much better. He's clearly second favorite.
They probably do that to him at family photos. They're like, Max, could you take it?
Pandora's in the picture. You're not. So then super high James is sitting with Ken and Lisa, clearly bothering them. And he informs them that no, he's not drunk, though it seems
Lisa
like
asks, I could hear her voice, but you get it like dubbed over a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And he says, I'm not drunk. I ate 4 brownies and smoked 2 joints. It feels like I'm in space right now.
Like,
I'm in space.
I was like,
what? I'd be flying. Dude. I wouldn't be able to function.
How are your eyes open?
Listen, I only smoke when I'm around other people because when I'm by myself, it doesn't matter how much I smoke, I fully cannot function.
He had to do some of this like at his apartment, right? Like he's just been slowly
I didn't see him eat 1 brownie, let alone 4. So maybe I don't know what happened to this kid.
And this is like, I think I said like 2014 earlier. Like it's mid 2010s.
Yeah. So we're not going to get a lot of we're not going to see him smoke weed.
It may be legal in California at this point, but I bet it is because there's no way he would talk about it if it was illegal. But it's not like the industry is now where you have these like gummy bear packages.
He had to make his own brownies for sure.
I bet so.
Yeah. Well, he's telling Ken, Lisa, and Christina Kelly, and Christina's like, "Aren't you embarrassed that like what's wrong with you?"
She said, "I can't believe you said you were sober when you're high as fuck." And I do agree with this. He never said he was sober. He just said he wasn't drunk. He wasn't drunk.
Because then he tells Christina to shut her mouth, and then Christina's like, "Don't talk to me like that. Who the fuck are you, little pipsqueak?" And then Jax, defender of women, as he's known his friends, he's pissed because James cannot talk to women that way. You can only tell them that when you're with women, it feels like
you'd rather
jail.
You'd prefer jail.
And you get nothing out of this relationship, and not to make it's okay to gaslight them, but you can't to their face yell at them like that.
Whoa, Jax. It's not like Brittany was saying this where you have her honor
Christina
to defend.
Kelly hates Jax. She didn't hang out with Stassi for years because of him.
She was just doing fine on her own.
Yeah, Christina can hold her own. My God.
This was not that intense.
She's like a Stassi. She doesn't need you to defend her. No. She's got it. Especially when Ken and Lisa are there. Don't you worry about a thing.
Jax, you are not one to defend a woman. Come on. Back off.
He's a truther. He's defender of all women. He's not guilty.
Man, his like, "Hi, my name is Jax" name tag is getting too long.
He's amazing. I don't even know why we're
the
not
hero of this show.
Yeah. So Jax is trying to defend a woman he doesn't even like. I think he just wants to get in a fight with James.
I was about to say,
all
he wants to do is destroy James.
Hey, Meredith, do you think he doesn't actually love women? He just wants to fight James?
It's like if James complimented Christina Kelly instead of destroying her, Jax would step in and be like, "She's a terrible person.
She's a fucking bitch. Are you kidding me?
You're going to defend her?"
So, I'm so sorry. I can't stop laughing because it's so dumb. Jax is like, about to blow a gasket. Where did James learn to speak to women like that? Whoever he wants, like
I'm
that.
like, probably you, Jax, the last 3 years.
Well, Lisa's somewhere. I don't know where it is, but she's like, it's amazing how similar you two are. Like,
She said
literally
that?
like looking in a mirror. Well, she was just like, I
missed
think it
it.
might have been to Jax later where she was like, you know what? I thought she was gonna say if I've ever seen two people more suited for each other, you and James, but she said you and Stassi. Sorry, that was my bad. But that's what I thought. I was like,
But
this
she
like
was
looking in a
thinking it.
mirror. Yeah,
She was
these
thinking
two.
it.
I was thinking it.
She's like, hey, remember that movie, Time Traveler's Wife or Husband or whatever?
This is it.
This is your time travel human.
All we need, because you both fucked Kristen too, so it's amazing how.
I almost said Ian Stassi, but that did not happen. I don't know why I thought it.
Stassi and James.
Maybe both Brittany.
Maybe
we'll get James.
We
to
don't
fuck
even
Brittany.
know. Oh, that'd be fun. So James would die.
I would be there in the room clapping.
That was awesome. So James loves it because Jax can't do anything because he's on probation, and he lets Jax know you can't do anything.
I do appreciate the strategy.
Yeah. So then Jax is like, calm down. And James is like, why do I have to calm down when you have a felony? And then everyone's like, oh, that was a bad thing to say, James.
Oh, okay.
And Jax got those really big eyes because he's so mad that James is disrespecting women. He's still on that. He's not even admitting like James angers me. He's straight up like, he's disrespecting women still. Like, no,
he's like, I'm the superhero for women.
Defender of all women.
Oh, wait. Somebody else is disrespecting a woman every 5 seconds and my meter's going off. But James. It's focusing in on you.
It's funny because you're only defender of women if you've never disrespected a woman. So that means Jax is perfect.
He's only a defender of women when somebody he hates
Name one
comes down on a woman.
Name one person he's been rude to that's a woman. There's zero.
Literally every James or Jax? Because with both of them, it's every single woman on this cast.
Okay, so that's when James is like, you're also disrespectful to women. And then Jax is like, I'm gonna pound your face.
A truther?
Me?
Never.
Oh my God. So Jax threatens to hit James, and James is like, do it. And he goes, don't cross me in front of Lisa. Which, if there's one power yet pussy
with
move,
your finger was like as if you were Harry Potter. Don't cross me
in front of Lisa. Which, like, listen, this is both a power move and like a lame-o move, right?
Yes.
He's like, you can't touch me because mom's here, but it's also like, you can't touch me because mom's here.
Oh, it's the little sibling thing.
Yeah. Mom's here. So then Peter is the one dealing with this, which this man deserves a raise. Jax gets even more mad, but Brittany's holding him back, and she's like, it's not worth it. He's like, I just want to crush skulls. And Lisa tells James to sit because it's over, and Jax solves things with his fists. So he's getting mad because he doesn't use words. Remember when he threw off his chunky sweater to fight Frank? There were no words.
Yeah, but they didn't actually fight. And then I think about that. You feel this, and it's like
he didn't actually
or
fight.
Sandoval punch Jax.
That was awesome.
Jax has never actually done anything.
No, actually, Jax has always gotten in a fight and lost, not threatened to be in a fight, or just gotten plastic surgery and looked like he's been in a fight.
Yeah, he hasn't really done anything on the show.
That's a good point.
He talks a big game.
It's a really good
Stassi has done more damage than Jax.
Yeah, that was dope. Kristen's done more damage than Jax. My God. That punching bag.
I was even going to say, like, her screaming at Diana was even more intense than Jax screaming here.
I just want to punch skulls.
Move your ass. Suck a dick.
So, James ends up leaving. He goes, I'm going to leave. Later, with a peace sign.
This is a little kid move. Come on.
And then he comes back, right? The camera stays on the door that James just walked out of. He comes back. He's like, JK, and he kisses Kristen and then goes, I'll text you tomorrow, and then leaves, which was like
amazing.
Chaos. And Kristen just let it happen. I would have been like, what what
Kristen
doing?
wanted it. Let's be honest. Kristen was like looking like, where's Lala? Is she looking?
Well, Lala's at the back of Sir. So when James walks out, Lala's there and he's like, I guess this is the door that's open. And then she goes, do you want to come back to my house? And he's like, Lala tonight, Kristen tomorrow.
I mean, I have to give it to him.
The reunion's gonna be crazy.
He managed to basically score both. I have to give it to him.
I don't know how. It was amazing. So then we go back into Sir. Jax is like, oh my God, I didn't expect any of this. And Lisa's like, you created it.
Yeah.
Like James was just getting yelled at by Christina Kelly and you had to step in. What? And then Lisa's also like, this is when she goes, you and Stassi are perfect together. And there might still be an opening, which I was like, Lisa, whoa. No.
What?
He's living with a different
Don't you remember
woman.
When that girl came in with a romper and tried to get a job? That's his girlfriend.
That wasn't just some girl from Hooters. That's his girlfriend still.
They're living together.
I know he thought they would only last a week. We all did, but no.
I know.
So Jax goes over to sit by Stassi. Christina Kelly is forced to leave. This bitch cannot get a break.
No. She was probably running away. She's like, don't defend me again. I'm going to get another drink.
She's like, I was going to try and hook up with James. Fuck you, my guy. So Stassi drinks Jax's water. So they're already sharing spit. But they're good. Stassi was apparently Jax's last healthy relationship.
Terrifying.
Which we get a flash to how healthy it really was.
Well, to all the versions of Stassi, she said she was with Jax.
Amazing.
I loved it.
Also, I think Jax's most healthy relationship was Carmen because she really kept him in line. And when he broke up with her over pizza, she was so classy. Okay, so maybe it's time we make things right. Jax would still do anything for Stassi. She could call him at any time. He'll be there. Meanwhile, we flash to Brittany, who's like, look, Stassi and Jax are talking, which I don't know who cared because we can all see no one really cares, Brittany. But anyway, so Stassi gets vulnerable with Jax for a second and says they started this group together, which you know what that means? Do you know what that means?
He's the number one guy in the group.
He's the number one guy in the group. She's number one girl in the group.
Yeah, but if it kind of, in my opinion, means they started this group, but it feels like a new leaf has turned. Like Stassi was on the out.
Well, this is the new generation.
Kind of like a little change, an uprising.
Number one guy in the group lost his title.
I think the king lost his queen, so it's like
I think they were number ones in the group, but they lost it. Yeah.
I agree.
So, they learned a lot from each other. Hey, remember when Jax got Stassi's name tattooed and then he cried when she wouldn't take him back? But she didn't know at the time and he was just sobbing. That was awesome.
I think about that. When they showed us that truck, I was like, oh no, not again.
You have no idea what I've done. So then
it sounds like he murdered someone for her.
He's in the trunk right now.
I've sacrificed a body for you.
So if I sold to the devil, it was just awesome. So then Stassi's like, yeah, it was fine, but you cheated the whole time. And Jax is like, you also were the worst.
He's like, not the whole time, not only 3 years and 7 months.
We were together 3 years and 8 months, you dipshit. But then he does. He's like, well, Stassi, you were no angel either. And she's like, what the fuck?
This reminded me of when he talked to Brittany. And he was like,
why is it all about you?
Yes. I was like, all right.
Why is it all about me, Stassi?
I was like, hey, Jax, remember when we were like, hey, we don't disrespect women?
Yeah. And so then Jax, instead of making amends, is now mad because Stassi came back for Katie and Schwartz. And now, fuck you because you don't even care about us. You're just here because you came crawling back and you had no one else. Things didn't work out with Patrick.
One little truth bomb and he turns.
Yeah. You have no friends. You're a loser. You crawled back. And Stassi's like, what the fuck? I really like Brittany. And he's like, yeah, love of my life. I'm like, what? So then Jax realizes he should be kind to Brittany because Brittany puts up with his shit and Stassi didn't, but he was kinder to Stassi than he is Brittany. So that doesn't really make sense.
Yikes.
But Jax and Stassi agree to be cordial. They shake hands. It's not 2011 anymore. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Hey, don't shit on Kansas.
It's true. Sorry.
There are more truthers there than in LA.
So then Jax goes back to Brittany. He wants to go home with her and tells Brittany he loves her.
I was
like,
gonna be. You love her? I guess it's best that he loves her.
A few days ago, we were in jail together. Now,
well, I was also thinking, like, man, it's only been what, like maybe 3 months of her living with you. But if she lives with you, I guess it's all right to love her.
They're gonna be okay. And then Katie and Stassi have a talk, and Stassi tells Katie she wants to be there for everything. And Katie's like, I'm not saying we can't be friends, but it's not going to be the same way it was. And this isn't like we'll never get back there, but it's Katie's a different person, so their relationship is going to change.
I like that she said that.
Yeah, I really like that. And then Katie and Schwartz thank Lisa. Everyone they're gonna go home and maybe have sex or order pizza. We don't really know which one yet, but you can't do both.
We might be tired and we may just want pizza.
So
which makes me this statement. I'm like, Schwartz, you I feel like are the one who doesn't want to have sex.
He is totally. He just on camera is like, hey Katie, we have sex right now, and she goes no, and then he's like, Katie never wants to have sex, but they're gonna go home and he's gonna be like, I am tired. Pizza. So then Lisa does her good voiceover as everyone leaves. This year has been a huge learning curve. And I just want to shout out Shay, who had a really rough season, and I think we forget about it, but
we laughed about it, but I do feel bad for him.
Rough. So that's the end. Next time's the reunion, but for right now, RIP.
Lisa left it with, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Oof.
Got him.
It never changes. Let me tell you, fucking 9 million seasons later, we're still doing the same shit. So, my God. Okay. Well, let's do Accepted in Black so I can add it into our list and then tell you who won.
Can we start with Accepted? Because I have an unpopular opinion, so I need people to forget it.
Do it.
I'm picking James because
why? I love that.
Because listen, anybody who does this, I don't want to say like it's the best by any means, but I just gotta applaud him. Like somehow he got both girls, and I have to give it to him.
He got both doors.
And I can't help but laugh about that. And he got under Jax's skin, which I love, and did not get decked in the face.
You're right.
This is the time to pull that shit, because they don't have to film tomorrow. Like this will always be the finale episode. They'd love to end with a party.
Yeah. So
like he doesn't have to see Jax tomorrow if he doesn't want to.
That's true. Okay, I'm gonna pick Stassi for Accepted. I think she had a good episode. She had a lot of shame for crashing this party, but she went with it. She stayed classy. She behaved the whole time. She didn't get into any fights. I was thinking about either picking Kristen or Lala because that fight was my favorite part of the episode, but no, Stassi did really good. She got told by Lala that if you don't like me, blow me, and she kept it cool. And talked to Jack, she talked to Stassi, or she talked to Katie, sorry, and she talked to Lisa. So
true,
it was a big episode.
She was like a big girl.
She was a big girl. Okay, who are you gonna block?
I don't even know.
I know it's hard.
I feel like on the flip side, I have to block Lala.
Oh, but that fight.
I know, but she let James get to her. She was doing way better at the start of the season with playing the cool girl and being in control of the like James Lala relationship. She pushed someone, which we never condone, getting physical. And
no, but it was funny.
Even Stassi kind of looked down upon her. It was like, girlie, just admit you like fucked up. And like
Stassi's as low as you go right now.
You're like, now Stassi looks down on you. You're not in a great spot, especially for being the new girl, because what Sheena said, like, while that fight was going on, of like Lala's worst fear was not being accepted, and here she is
not being accepted. You're right. I'm gonna block Brittany. Girl, get out.
Pack up your little sedan.
Get the fuck out. This man does not love you. He does not respect you. He just is taking advantage of you. He literally told you he'd rather be in jail than be around you. I do applaud Brittany for meeting Stassi, but I think Stassi really handled that better. And yeah, I think Brittany's just like
Brittany was a little doe-eyed in it, like
kind of dumb right now. She's just like not seeing the full picture. Like, girl, you can get out. You could do better. I just
call your mama.
Call your mom. Get out of there. He also, this season, if you remember correctly, Jax told Brittany he doesn't believe in marriage. So this girl's never getting anything. Anyway,
she's just like being handed red flags, and she thinks they're roses.
She loves them. Okay, so I actually did 2 things this time. So I wrote out everyone, and I figured out who was our most accepted and who was our most blocked. But then I thought, what if I netted them, right? So if we like blocked Jax 4 times but accepted him once, if we netted that, right? So I did both, and it's very similar.
Okay, gross and net.
Yeah. So gross, do you want to guess? So gross and net for accepted was the same. So do you want to guess who was our most accepted of the season? I was shocked, if that helps.
Was it Katie?
No, it was not.
I'm terrible at guessing these because I like don't remember the season.
Do you want me to give you hints?
No, I'm just gonna give one other guess.
And I
feel like it might be Ariana.
No, but that was better guess than Katie.
Okay. I don't know. Katie was like a weird one.
It was Schwartzy. Schwartzy was our most accepted.
I hate us.
Accepted a total of 7 times.
Like just total between you and me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It has to be the engagement.
Which I think netted to 6. Because
he
was only blocked once.
He didn't really fuck up that much.
Dude was only blocked once. So
okay.
It was full. Okay, so for blocked, we have a tie for gross, and then for net, one person beat the other.
Of the two.
Tied. So guess the 2 that were tied for most blocked.
Jax and James.
Yeah, easily.
And then I think Jax won overall.
Yeah, honestly, they were tied when they were netted too. And then you picking James as your accepted let Jax win most.
I think it's because I'm drunk right now.
Well, we didn't
like why I picked James. I think I'm just drunk and I think it's hilarious.
We accepted Jax only once. But
why?
We accepted James 3 times.
Do you have it written which episode we accepted?
No. I think it might have been me. I put the blame at there because I remember weirdly being like, I'm accepting Kristen and Jax.
No, one of us accepted Kristen and one of us accepted Jax.
Yeah, it was a fucked up episode. Yeah. So that's our season. I forget. We do multiple reunion shows, right? Yeah. So we will be back with
3 reunions, and then
what?
I know.
Secrets revealed.
And then we will have secrets revealed, and that will be Patreon only.
So we'll start our new well, actually we do 2 episodes a week. So like in 2 weeks we'll be done with this show.
We'll be done soon. Don't worry. The reunions are the most fun. Or like the reason
they're the easiest, honestly. Yeah, they're the easiest.
And especially because we have done this season for a very long time. It'll be kind of nice to wrap it up. Like, also correct
me if I'm wrong, but Secrets Revealed is only on Patreon. It's Patreon exclusive. Yep. So you only have 3 reunions, but if you want Secrets Revealed, that will be on Patreon.
Come join us there.
Okay, do all the things I said at the beginning of the episode. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.